I want to watch porn. It's 2021, a lukewarm, slightly cloudy summer's day, much like the one I'm seeing outside right now. I'm sitting in this exact room trying to work on my YouTube channel, but that thought keeps entering my head. I'm rationalizing it to myself. I say, you're seeing your girlfriend in 4 days, that's enough time to recover. Once you do it, the distracting thoughts will go away and you can finally focus. It didn't take much to convince me, so I pause my work, do the deed, then sit back at my desk. I'm ready to work again, except I realized that instead of saving me time, I just wasted an hour and it was time to go to the gym. I felt like a loser. Doing it made my motivation to work actually go down. I had to now pick between doing the rest of my work or going to the gym on time. I wanted to be this new man, but I once again reminded myself of the painful reality that I wasn't. I was not happy. But I think a straw broke in me that day because after I got back to the gym, in this room, I started formulating a plan. I was going to stop everything. All the scrolling during work, all the waking up late, all the bad habits I had were still creating this big void between who I wanted to be and who I actually was. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I was terrified of this. I thought the bad habits, the scrolling, the little bit of dopamine from porn was the only pleasure that I had left in my life. So taking that away would mean I have nothing. I would have to face reality, an experience that I wasn't ready for. I would have to start forcing myself through every minute of my day. My demons were still very strong, so they wouldn't let me go that easily. It was going to take tremendous discipline, and I accepted that I had to feel sad for a while because that's what it was going to take to finally become the man I wanted to be. So I wake up the next morning ready for battle. The snooze button was tempting me, but I avoid it. My first demon was defeated. My second demon comes after the first hour when I'm sitting on my desk and working. I feel a pull to go on my phone because I feel a little bit bored, except I don't this time. I put my phone to the other side of my room and carry on working. I chip away at my work while still thinking about my phone for the next 5 minutes, but that eventually passes as well. And that was the second demon I defeated that day. I finished my work session surprised. I've got away relatively scot-free. Only 2 demons so far. I'm in my car on my way to the gym now, music blasting, and I actually find myself singing along to it. That work session went pretty well. I got a ton of work done, which was quite rare. There wasn't much traffic. It was also a sunny day, so I felt quite good. And then it hit me. I'm happy. Like, actually happy. For the first time in a while. I thought being super disciplined would be miserable, but it actually wasn't as bad as I expected. I didn't have anything to be guilty about this morning. No snoozing, no distractions, no porn. And the demons I had to battle this morning were nothing like the massive guilt and shame I used to feel from doing the bad habits. Feeling like this became my new addiction. If you've ever spoken to a normal person for like 5 minutes before, a person that's not like you or me, just a normal person, right? You learn that these motherfuckers just go to work, eat, and watch TV shows. That's it. That's literally like 90% of their life. And they seem content with it too. It's like weird, like, what? Where's the world domination? Where's your hero's journey? Where's like the going to war with yourself part, achieving your dreams, retiring your family? Like, you're okay with what you have right now? You talk to these people and you become a little bit jealous of them. I'm not gonna lie, it would be easy. Life would be so easy if we were just okay with having that sort of life. But you and me have a gift that's also a little bit of a curse. Ambition. Your bar of happiness is higher than just being a slave all day, getting your nice, stable minimum wage, and then watching TV. And because your standards are so high, because your ambition's so high, it's really easy to live life in this sad, unfulfilled, disappointed state for the majority of your time. And I'm going to help you manage that. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Brian, and what I help you do is essentially help you achieve freedom, quit your 9 to 5, and do whatever you want. If you resonate with this message, you are like us. Everyone on this channel is working towards building this life for themselves, so if you resonate with this message, consider subscribing. As an ambitious person, you are never finished. It's easy to constantly be disappointed at your lack of accomplishment. I've got a 100,000 subscriber YouTube channel. I freed myself from the 9 to 5. I've been earning money myself for a number of years now. I moved to Thailand temporarily, and I basically have everything that I ever dreamed of 3 years ago, but I'm still unsatisfied with where I'm at. That's just the reality of being ambitious. You always want to push to the next level. And if you let that get to you, you're constantly going to be unhappy. That's why the first thing you have to do is to switch your focus. Switch your focus from these reward metrics like subscribers, money, amount of clients you have, views you have on YouTube, to just making yourself proud every single day. Because if you do the right actions throughout your day, every day, you're going to get to your goals anyway with time, right? But we're not done yet, because when you switch your attention to making yourself proud every day, you quickly realize that you don't live up to who you want to be. You still get distracted, you might still have some bad habits, so it still won't make us completely happy to just do this. The next step is to list out everything in your life that you're doing right now that's causing you some form of guilt or shame. Because those two states are literally the worst states you can be in. Just list out everything that you do. Maybe going on your phone during work, maybe your diet isn't perfect, maybe you slip up on your routine sometimes. List out all of those things and then just decide the person you would like to become. That perfect version of you that doesn't do any of those things. That version that still feels quite far away from your current self, that will take a long time to get to. Create this alter ego. The kind of person that doesn't give in to bad habits, follows their routine perfectly, has a really good diet, just anything else you want, add it in. But be careful, remember we've switched our focus from these reward metrics like money and status and fame to what they're actually like as a person, what makes them proud every single day. Because remember, if we make ourselves proud every day, those reward metrics are going to come naturally. So don't focus on what they have, focus on what they're like. And it sounds a little bit weird, but make a Spotify playlist for this person. Think of like what clothes this person would wear. Think of how he treats the people around him and set some boundaries for that person. What does he never do and what kind of principles does he stick to? Now, this person feels like a mountain away, right? It feels like this massive leap, like it's gonna take years to get to this person. It feels like if you were to make the switch tomorrow, it would be really uncomfortable to be that disciplined and that perfect with everything. It might feel like quite intense to what you are now, like it might feel like you have to ease into it a little bit. But I'm going to set you a challenge. Once you have this person, do this. Pretend to be like them for 3 days. Just 3 days, that's all I'm asking. Put a frame in your mind, a frame in front of your eyes, and just mind control yourself to act like that person for just 3 days. Immerse yourself completely in their world. Stop listening to whatever current music you're listening to and listen to that new playlist that you made. And try to stop listening to as much sad music. I personally really like how songs written in like the minor key sound, like sad songs, right? I like the beats. They just do something to my brain where I like how it sounds, right? But I didn't realize that it was subconsciously messing me up a little bit. So do what you can to just, you don't have to completely stop, but just reduce it. Find some happier songs you like and mix them into that playlist. If you can get some like new clothes for those 3 days, do it and wear them. And if you can't, then just make an effort to be dressed properly, have clean clothes. Follow that routine of that person as perfect as you can get it, even if it feels quite uncomfortable. Remember, it's only 3 days that you're doing this for. If you can change your environment, maybe move some stuff around your room or go into a different room, do it. I didn't do it, but this will help as well because it kind of changes the framing in your mind. You're really like immersing yourself into this new identity. When you're working, learning, doing whatever you need to do on that day and you feel a pull to get distracted, don't do it. Just resist the temptation. Remember, it's only 3 days and after that, you can go back to going on your phone as much as you like. There was this study where a number of people got this thing on their phone where it would ping at random times throughout their day and they had to rate what they were doing and rate how happy they were. And essentially, long story short, it found that people were happiest when they were in the flow state or doing something with people. And they were least happy when they were being distracted, watching TV, scrolling on their phone. So not only are you happy because you're finally the person you want to be during those 3 days, you're also in the flow state a lot more. And you're also probably spending more time with people. And that's the one thing I will say. For the love of God, as ambitious as you might be, as perfect as and as entrepreneurial as like you might want to be a millionaire that works 12 hours a day, for the love of God, treat yourself kindly. Treat yourself like a human. Don't like whip yourself into submission. Leave some time for relationships, like hanging out with people. And if you still feel this desperate pull to do any of the bad habits, then Do it, but make sure that it's pre-planned. That's the key. So if you really want to check like someone's YouTube channel to see if they've posted a new video, don't do it right at that second. Say, today at 7 p.m, after I finished all of this, I'm going to check that person's channel and maybe watch one video. It's more about resisting the initial temptation than not doing that thing in the first place. And now, because you've pre-planned it, there's zero guilt. You might even get to that point at 7 p.m. and realize that you didn't need to check whatever you wanted to check in the first place. And now I will ask you this question. After those 3 days, what do you think is going to happen? Do you seriously think you're gonna want to go back to your old life? I guarantee you, anything that you were scared of, like scared of having to focus and it was gonna be really hard, or you were going to have to go to the gym early, wake up early, you'll realize that all of your worries were bullshit. You will realize that acting like that person, slowly morphing into that person, your identity's gonna change if you keep doing this. Being that person feels so fucking good that you're never going to want to go back. I felt so stupid because the day before I was terrified of how many demons I was going to have to face. I was going to have to chip away at my work, and like every 2 seconds a thought was going to be popping into my brain. But I quickly realized that making yourself focus for a second as your brain's trying to distract you, temporarily feeling that little bit of resistance, that pull to the bad habit, that goes away actually way sooner than you think. All of the hard and bad feelings that was creating was way smaller than the shame I felt from watching porn, scrolling for like 2 hours out of my 3-hour work block. And you'll realize that as soon as you commit to doing your work and doing all 3 hours focused, that those little distracted thoughts come a lot less than you think. And that's because it's a slippery slope. Once you peak for the first time, you give in, you're hooked. And that's why you end up scrolling for hours. But if you don't peak in the first place, then there's none of that. The impulse goes away after like 5 minutes. Remember, the pull to all the bad habits that you do, most likely you don't do drugs, right? So it's not a substance addiction, it's just a dopamine addiction. So you're not as addicted as you think you are. 3 days, bro. Start the planning now, make your playlist, and tomorrow wake up as this new person. Give it 3 days. You don't have to carry on if you feel horrible afterwards. But that won't happen, will it? Consider subscribing if you're new here and you want more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.